Hello, welcome back to my channel, welcome back to Interactive Fiction. Today we will be playing something curious, something I stumbled upon by accident on Reddit. A developer on the Play My Game subreddit was, showcasing his game, and since this was one of the rare examples of interactive or just text adventure game being on that subreddit, it instantly caught my attention. So let's give it a spin. It's called Dungeons and Deadlines by Miles Matrix. It's an epic game of work-life balance. So if you are like me, you have a desk job, corporate job, you might find this relatable. We'll see how it goes. The author of the game also made the soundtrack, which is something I always appreciate. I'm an amateur composer myself, and it's always nice to see when people have multiple disciplines behind them. So let's see. Welcome to Rakefire Worldwide. So that's the corporation, I suppose. Ready. Start new career. Yes, let's start new career. Please type your surname. Let's go with Ficcioni. Oh, we cannot type it out, or can we? Oh, so we have to click it. Sure, okay. That's all right. I'm Dave Ficcioni. Hello, Mr. Ficcioni. Your probation period of 62 days starts shortly. How will you proceed? Learn by doing. Take me to onboarding. Let's live dangerously. Let's learn by doing. That's what I always do. If I ever write a biography, an autobiography, it would be called Interactive Fiction Story, or How I Learned to Wing It, or Winging It, an interactive fiction story. Good morning, Mr. Ficcioni. Hope you slept well. Will you come in to work earlier than usual, on time, or later? Well, it's important when you're starting a new job to put up boundaries. I don't like to slack off, but I don't like to be taken advantage of either. So let's draw on time card. You arrive at work on time. Your supervisor looks at you reproachfully. Esteem, health, stress, family. No change. Okay. I didn't know we had family, but I suppose we do. So these are our stats. 6 esteem, 6 health, 4 stress, 6 family. If I can have a tiny little bit criticism about the soundtrack, I like it, but I think the mix is a bit too high with the game on default. Hello, Mr. Ficcioni, the super product instigator. Instigator, interesting here. Please reimagine the buzzword compliancy. Oh, that's what it is. We're talking about buzzwords, so that's why he's an instigator. Knowledge economy. Yeah, let's draw a work card here. When asked whether you want to contribute to Barry's birthday present, you take a second too long to answer. Your workmates are worried you'll end up like Karen. What do you mean we're going to end up like Karen? I don't want to end up like Karen. Karens usually have bad hairstyles. So -2 esteem, +2 stress. Okay. Good evening, Mr. Ficcioni. How much do you love your job? Will you work overtime or go home? Draw overtime card. Draw go home card. No, let's go home. I mean, we showed up on time and we are leaving on time. You invite your kids to an ice cream parlor. Esteem -1, stress -1, family +2. this is maybe a stupid question, but what about stress? Is -1 stress, isn't that a bad thing? Is this an indicator of how our stress is being increased in negative sense, or is it just -1 stress, therefore we are 1 point less stressed? So less is more with stress, and with everything else more is less, I suppose. But then again, we have family +2, so I suppose I have answered my own question. Okay, let's move on. We have 3 esteem, 6 health, 5 stress, and family 8. I assume if anything drops to 0, we're toast. Quote of the day: any man can make mistakes, but only an idiot persists in his error. Marcus Tullius Cicero. I suppose it's a spin on if you are expecting the same kind of results with an identical approach, you're a madman. Good morning, Mr. Ficcioni. What a beautiful day. Will you come in to work earlier than usual, on time, or later? Also, one tiny suggestion to the developer. I am usually someone who supports and likes minimalism, especially in interactive fiction and in these sort of games. And I like a clean interface, and this is a clean interface. But since this is a clean interface, an ability to increase or even change the font might be nice, or just increase the size. I think that might be because the screens, the presentation is clean, it's not stuffed, which is something that pretty much all the time puts me off of visual novels. There are a few that I like that recent Vampire the Masquerade visual novel. I think that has a very saturated, very contained UI, despite it being very lavishly illustrated and everything else. Okay, let's move on. Will you come into work earlier than usual, on time, or later? On time. You arrive at work on time and wake Barry up, who was asleep at his desk. Was he here all night? Esteem, health, stress, family, no change. Barry, what are you doing, Barry? Hello, Mr. Ficcioni, the Chief Statistics Helper here. Please process the feasibility study. Deploy as soon as possible. Okay. I mean, when you gotta do, you gotta do. You pitch an idea that was rejected a few weeks ago. This time your superior signs off on it. Esteem +1, stress -2. End of business day. Good evening, Mr. Ficcioni. Thank you for your work. Will you work overtime or go home? Well, I assume we did the assignment, or we just started working on it. That's the question. The one that was just signed off on. So let's work overtime for a change. You work overtime snorting cocaine? Okay, that's well, that's all of a suddenly cocaine. Oh, all right. It was unexpected. Esteem +2, stress +2, health -2. Sure. Quote of the day: as long as we persevere and endure, we can get anything we want. Mike Tyson. Okay, next day. Really? You're quoting Mike Tyson after Cicero? Personally, I wouldn't, but then again, it's not a slight against the author, but I'd personally not use him as in any sort of role model. Good morning, Mr. Ficcioni. How are you feeling today? Will you come in to work earlier than usual, on time, or later? On time. Which is funny because in real life I usually come earlier, but not super early, like half an hour. I guess that's on time. If you're half an hour earlier, I have a thing about not being late pathologically to anything ever. I always come early. You arrive at work on time, motivated, fresh, and full of oomph. And see, this is the key. Arriving early doesn't produce much results if you're you have not slept that one additional hour, that just is what sets you on to become fully rested. So esteem, health, stress, family, no change. Usually that one last hour and a half of sleep is what makes a difference, really. Hello, Mr. Ficcioni, the assistant senior technical operator here. Please summon the marketing mix. Try a task-focused approach. Okay, let's work. You excel at photocopying. Employee of the month level. Shit. Esteem +1. I don't know why I read that with a comma. Employee of the month level. Shit. Yes, of course. Exemplar behavior. Really. End of business day. Will you work overtime or go home? No, let's go home. You invite your kids to an impromptu karaoke session. Not a karaoke person, but sure. Family +2, stress -1, esteem -1. Why would that lower my esteem? I'm kind of unsure about that. Let's go. Quote of the day. Success is the sum of small efforts, repeated day in and day out. Robert Collier. True. It's, I think, if you want to change your life radically, you're not going to do it by making radical decisions. It's like you suddenly decide you want to get in shape, for example, and you're like, starting from tomorrow, I'm going to only eat lettuce. And sure, you may last a day eating lettuce only, or even 2 days, but after that, your actions are going to have an adverse result. If you truly want to change, you're going to start small. That's why you can gradually make new decisions, new habits. Like, for example, starting from tomorrow, I'm going to stop putting cream or sugar in my coffee. And then when you get used to that, you can go and, starting from tomorrow, I'm not going to eat bread anymore or potatoes. And these things can really make a difference. They do. A huge difference. I'm speaking from experience. Good morning, Mr. Ficcioni. What a beautiful day. Will you come in to work earlier than usual, on time or later? On time. You arrive at work on time and start the day off with an overpriced latte from Starbucks that has gone cold. Esteem, health, stress, family, no change. Well, no Starbucks in my country, I have to say. I did try it when I was traveling, but not my thing. I don't know what it is about it, but it's like the beans are weird. I don't know. No, I don't like it. Hello, Mr. Ficcioni, the Assistant Vice President Accounting Technician here. Please drill down the non-functional requirement. Have you identified the pain points? What are the pain points? No, I refuse. This is some techno-babble Star Trek level stuff. No, I don't like. You lock yourself in the bathroom and cry? Again. Someone tells you to hurry up, other people want to cry too. Oh, that's rough. That's truly rough. End of business day. Good evening, Mr. Ficcioni. Wasn't that fun? Will you work overtime or go home? Well, if we cried all day, I think we should go home. You leave the office and work out instead of staying overtime. Health +2, stress -1, esteem -1. Yeah, that one's actually also a good thing. For me, at least, working out. For me, working out is not so much about staying in shape, and it is a part of that, of course, but mostly it's just a giant stress reducer, especially if you have a desk job, because you do so much of your day using your brain, making yourself exhausted mentally, and then you go to the gym and you just shut down your brain, and it feels nice when when you are using different kind of energy, not mental energy, just physical energy. Yeah. Quote of the day: we have no intention of failing. The only question is how great a success we'll have. Rupert Murdoch. Okay. Good morning, Mr. Ficcioni. As the Germans say, the early bird catches the worm. Is that something the Germans say? I mean, I'm familiar with this saying, but will you come in to work earlier than usual, on time, or later? I think the game is hinting, winking at us, so let's draw early. You get into a fight with your spouse because you're not driving the kids to school as you promised. +2, -2. Esteem +2, family -2. That's not great. That's not great. It's not great at all. Hello, Mr. Ficcioni. The Super Convergence Director here. Please bootstrap the non-sequitur agreement. Ensure strategic fit. Well, this babble, this corporate babble is off the charts. Our stress is critical, so I think we have to draw a lifeguard. According to your favorite influencer on Instagram, happiness is just a frame of mind. That's settled then. Stress +1. Yeah, that's bullshit. That's like talking to someone who is suffering from depression. You just say to them, just stop being depressed, and they're like, oh great, I'm cured. It doesn't work that way. It really doesn't. Weekend, Friday, 5 o'clock, Mr. Ficcioni. One hell of a week. Will you work this weekend or spend time with your family? Family. Esteem -2, stress -1, family +1. Okay. Stress is still 1. Quote of the day: I am in control at all times. G.G. Allen. Was he? I mean, I guess maybe that's what control was to him. He was really crazy on stage. Good morning, Mr. Ficcioni. How are you feeling today? Will you come in to work earlier than usual, on time, or later? On time. I'm kind of curious about later. But I'm just so incredibly hardwired to not be late to anything. But let's try it. Let's see what the game gives us. There's nothing like a bowl of muesli in the morning. So esteem -2, stress -1. Hello, Mr. Ficcioni, the assistant senior innovation accountant here. Why is stress still at 1? That's what I'm curious about. Please assemble the dynamic system development method. Let's get some quick wins. I am appalled by this babble here, so let's draw a lifeguard. Stress -2, esteem -1. Okay, good evening, Mr. Ficcioni. Thank you for your work. Will you work overtime or go home? Go home. You surprise your family by joining them for dinner. -2, +1. Okay, why is stress still 1? Maybe I'm playing the game wrong, I don't know. But our esteem is dangerously low, so let's not go overboard. Quote of the day: difficulties mastered are opportunities won. Winston Churchill. Yeah, that sounds like something he would say. Good morning, Mr. Ficcioni. As the Germans say, the early bird catches the worm. Will you come in to work earlier than usual, on time, or later? Let's go on time. So no change. Hello, Mr. Ficcioni, the senior product director here. Please leverage the blank rows. I want a cutting-edge result. What does that even mean? That's barely a coherent English sentence. Let's draw work. You do a presentation. Everybody hates the clip art. Nobody cares about your data. You had one job. Whoa. Whoa. Okay. Okay, yeah, that was rough. You get fired before the end of the probation period. Idiot. You lasted 10 days. Well. That was fun, I have to say. That was fun. This is good. This is fun. Some final words. I like how expressive the game was, especially if you are intimately familiar with the type of work the game is approaching. It wasn't too verbose, and it did not railroad you too much. I mean, some level of railroading is inevitable by the sheer, well, nature of text-based games. But yeah, this was delightful actually. I'm going to follow this developer. I hope they make more in the future. Thank you for watching this.